Good morning, guys. Marini here with another algebra video. Today we're going to do our second day of word problems. Today's word problems are going to have to do with shapes. The first do now question asks you what is the larger of the two solutions. So if you have x minus 7 times x plus 8 equals 0, it's already factored for you, the solutions, after you do your t-chart. One of them would be negative 8. And the other one, after you add 7, would be positive 7. So you get 7 and negative 8. It asks you which is the larger one. 7 is larger than negative 8, so the answer is choice 3. Question number 2 says that there is a rectangular piece of paper, and it has a length of 2x minus 6 and a width of 3x minus 5, and it asks you for the area. Area of a rectangle is the length times width, so you would do 2x minus 6 times 3x minus 5, and one of the ways that we've done that all year is the box method. So when you multiply 2x times 3x, you get 6x squared. 3x times negative 6 is negative 18x. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. And negative 5 times negative 6 is positive 30. So when you add all this together, it becomes 6x squared minus 18x minus 10x plus 30, which then becomes, after you combine like terms, negative 28x plus 30. So that's our do now. And then I'll show you guys how to do 2 of these word problems, and then there's 2 more below that are a little bit harder. I'll be in Google Meet if you guys have any questions. The area of a rectangle is 35. The length is 2 more than the width. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So whenever I see a question about a rectangle, I like to draw one. It says the area is 35. I'm going to put that in the middle. And it says the length is 2 more than the width. Now, I have no idea how long each side is, but it does say that the length, this can be the length, and this can be the width. The length is 2 more than the width. I have no idea what the width is, so I'm going to say the width right now is x. If the length is 2 more than the width, 2 more than the width, that would be x plus 2. 2 more than x plus 2. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. When it asks you to find the dimensions of the rectangle, it's asking you to find out how long is the length and how long is the width. Right now, all I know is that the area is 35, and one side is x and the other side is x plus 2. If you remember what we did in the do now question, the second one, area is length times width. So the area of this rectangle is going to be length times width. Well, the area we already know is 35 equals the length times the width is x times x plus 2. That's going to make 35 equals, we can distribute and get x squared plus 2x. And now this is a quadratic equation. I see x squared. What does a quadratic equation have to be equal to before you can solve it? 0. How can I make this equal to 0? Subtract 35 and subtract 35 from the other side. That makes a new equation. 0 equals x squared plus 2x minus 35. If you don't like the way that looks because you're used to having equals 0 on the other side, flip it around. X squared plus 2x minus 35 equals 0. And now we have a quadratic equation in standard form. We can solve this for x. We can factor. This is a trinomial, so we can try am So x squared is x times x. And numbers that multiply to negative 35 and add up to positive 2 are positive 7 and negative 5. Now we can tee off and say x minus 5 equals 0, x plus 7 equals 0. So one solution is going to be 0 minus 7 or negative 7. And the other solution is going to be positive 5. Now when you're working with shapes, rectangles, things like that, you can't have a side that's negative 7. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to reject this. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm just going to go with x equals 5. So if x equals 5, that means that this x is now actually 5. And that means that this x plus 2 is really going to be 5 plus 2, which is really 7. And you could check your answer because when you do the area, 7 times 5, you get 35, and it works. So the width is 5 and the length is 7. And that's how you do that one. I'll also show you guys number 2. The length of the rectangle is 4 centimeters more than 3 times the width. If the area of the rectangle is 15, find the width. So we have another rectangle. And the area is 15. It says the length is 4 centimeters more than 3 times the width. So just like the other one, let's make the width x. And then the length is 4 centimeters more than 3 times the width. That'd be 3x plus 4. And so since the area is 15, we're going to look for how long the width is. Right now the width is x. That's going to be length times width, x times 3x plus 4 equals the area, 15. So we'll distribute and get 3x squared plus 4x equals 15. And then make it equal to 0. Subtract 15 on both sides. That would be 3x squared plus 4x minus 15 equals 0. And now we got to solve this one. Now, can't do AM because there's a 3 in front of the x squared. If there's no GCF, it's not dots. Unfortunately, we would have to do grouping for this one. So for grouping, remember we bring down 3x squared. And we bring down the minus 15. And this is equal to 0. And we got to multiply 3 times negative 15, which makes negative 45. And now we have to do AM, what adds up to 4 and multiplies to negative 45. And that would be a negative 9 and a positive 5. Negative 9 times 5 is negative 45, and negative 9 plus 5, oh, I'm sorry, that would make negative 4. So let's switch this around and make this negative 5 and positive 9. Negative 5 times 9 is negative 45, and negative 5 plus 9 is positive 4. So negative 5, I'm going to make that minus 5x. And then positive 9, it would be positive 9x. Minus 15 equals 0. Now we're going to put these in the groups. So you put 1 there and 1 there, and then look for a GCF. I know it's been probably a week since we've done this, almost 2 actually. 3x squared minus 5x have x in common, so that would be x parentheses 3x minus 5. And then positive 9x minus 15 have a positive 3 in common, so positive 3. And then in parentheses, that would be 3x minus 5 equals 0. Don't forget when you're factoring by grouping to make your double parentheses now. One of the parentheses has to be, as you may have guessed, 3x minus 5. The other parentheses is going to be x plus 3. But don't forget we're solving an equation here. So again, bring down the equal 0. And now we can finally solve this. Make your t-chart. X plus 3 equals 0. 3x minus 5 equals 0. This one, when you subtract 3 on both sides, you're going to get negative 3, which I just said in the previous problem we're not going to use because you can't have a width that's negative 3. So then for the other one, you're going to add 5 first. 3x equals 5, and then divide by 3, and x equals 5 divided by 3. Which is 1.67. Or you can leave that as a fraction, 5 over 3. So that means that the width, x, is 5 over 3, or 1.67. And that is the width. That's what x was. That's all it asks you for. It doesn't ask you for the length. So you're done with this question. So that's what I wanted to show you guys how to do. You can try those bottom two questions, and if they're difficult or you need help, I'll be in Google Meet until 1:30.